What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com, and we've made it to the main event of the meet at Del Mar. Of course, last week we had the main event of the meet at Saratoga and the Travers, and it didn't disappoint. We saw a great performance by Epicenter. Now we're in the main event of the Del Mar meet, the Pacific Classic, a field of 6. We expected a very short field. Why? Well, you've got maybe the best horse in training in the number 5 Flightline against the Dubai World Cup winner in the number 2 Country Grammar. So it's going to be hard to find other horses that want to enter and run against those two monsters. Certainly do not blame anybody for maybe not wanting to take a chance against these two. And that's why I think we're here with this field of 6. That being said, the number 5 Flightline will be my top pick. I am not going to single in this situation, and I'll explain that in a minute, but I am going to pick Flightline on top here. He's 1-5 in the morning line. That's probably what he's going to go off at. He is the most heavily hyped horse in the country. I think people are clamoring to see what he will do. Of course, the big question, he's never went further than a mile. Can he get a 1.25 miles? That's a big question mark on everybody's mind. In my opinion, yes. In this spot, this Saturday, he will certainly get it. How he comes out of the race could be a different story, but let's talk about him for this race. He's working out well. They're not going to enter this horse in a race unless he's 100% fit, sound, and ready, which he is, I believe, at this moment. He has elite speed. You look at the rest of this field, I don't see a ton of speed in here. This horse has elite speed. I think Flightline can get to the front. I don't mind stretch outs for horses that have this kind of speed. I think he's going to handle it just fine. You also look at the pedigree. There's absolutely nothing in the pedigree that says Flightline cannot go 1.25 miles. Everything seems to be right there for him to get it. I don't think it's going to be much of a problem. Now, the worry with Flightline that's out there is how healthy is he? Can they keep him healthy? Running him 1.25 miles for a horse that kind of has some physical issues, that could be a little bit of a problem. I don't think they'll show up in this race specifically. You might see him exit the race and he has to have a little more time between races. That's very possible. That's been him going 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs a mile. They've had to spread out his races. He obviously has some issues kind of physically, and it's kind of hard to keep him on the track. But as far as this race, if those kind of things were lingering with him, there's no way they would enter a horse of this caliber in the race. So I think he's 100% fit, sound, and ready, like I said. I think he takes it to him. I think he takes it gate to wire. I think he wins this race. I think he will be the favorite for the Breeders' Cup Classic if he indeed makes it there. So number 5 Flightline on top for me. He does face a challenge. I'm not really worried about the 1, the 3, the 4, or the 6, but the 2 Country Grammar, you have to really take this horse seriously. He's trained by Bob Baffert, number 1, and he is a true 1.25 miles type of horse. When we saw him at the Dubai World Cup, he beat a really, really good field that day. At 1.25 miles, he provides a test that may be the best test out of everybody in the country as far as going this distance that Flightline would have to match up against. I would venture to say yes. So he's going to test him. There's no doubt. If Flightline can't get the distance, if he's struggling that last eighth of a mile, Country Grammar will beat him. I have no doubt about that. He's going to fire a big race. He came back last time out in the San Diego at Del Mar. He got second to Royal Ship, who's also in this race. But it was at 1 16 miles. It was his first race after the Dubai World Cup. Plenty of reasons why he didn't maybe run his best race in there. Second off the layoff. He's at his optimal distance. He will provide a test for Flightline, and that's what makes this race interesting. It's not like you're going up against 5 other horses that aren't any good at all. You're going up against the Dubai World Cup winner. You're going up against a horse that's really good at this distance. So it'll be a test for Flightline for sure. That's why I do think you got to get number 2 Country Grammar involved in this. I mean, as far as a long shot, I think Stiletto Boy, the 6 horse, is one that you might try to play underneath to kind of jazz up the exactas or the tries. I think he's going to be a big enough price. He always kind of just seems to be there. I would give him a shot here. I think he's going to be double-digit odds, and maybe he can get up and kind of, like I said, spice up the exotic wagers a little bit. But as far as on top, I am going to go number 5 Flightline. Let's see if he can get 1.25 miles. If he can't, then we kind of forget about him for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Where does he fit into the Breeders' Cup? It might be the mile, and then you're going to get like 2 horses in the mile because he will dominate there. So we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully he can get some 1.25 miles. since we're picking him to win. So I'm going number 5, Flightline on top. Number 2, Country Grammar. I do think you got to get this horse involved in some of the multis. Just kind of that backup is, hey, if Flightline can't get the distance, Country Grammar we know can and could mow him down in the late stages. And that's what's going to make this really intriguing. So 5 on top for me, 2 underneath. Huge race, major Breeders' Cup implications, as well as the Jockey Club Gold Cup at Saratoga. So we're going to have a big shakeup in the Classic rankings in the Classic division. So it's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. All right, guys, hit like if you like this video. Subscribe if you want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And good luck to everybody playing Saratoga and especially Del Mar on Pacific Classic Day. It should be a great Saturday of racing.